Hi, I am Amy Zelmer, and you are watching TBI TV, brought to you by the Functional Neurology Center. Today we're talking about it's just all in your head. So how many of us have heard that saying from a professional? I know I heard it quite a bit in my first year of recovery. I was seeing every doctor that I could think of to try and get help, and I just kept being told, there's nothing we can do, you just have to give it more time. And some doctors, more or less told me they just felt like it was just all in my head. I was just imagining some of my symptoms. And, after hearing that over and over and over, you kind of do start to think you're a little bit crazy. You start to believe what these doctors are telling you. No one's giving you any advice. No one's giving you any guidance. For me, I didn't even get into any therapies. I had asked my neurologist, should I be doing OT, PT, something, some sort of therapy? I didn't know what I needed. You're the professional. I was looking to them to get me into some sort of therapy. And they just kept telling me, no, let's just give it more time. Finally, at 15 months into my recovery, the neurologist was like, this might just be the best you're going to be. And I just kind of looked at her and I was like, I don't believe that. We haven't done anything. I had absolutely nothing done, no therapies, nothing. So she sent me for a neuropsych exam to determine what my deficits were. And the neuropsychologist went over my results with me, and she basically said, well, you scored pretty average for your age in most categories, except for short-term memory. You scored worse than a dementia patient, so I think maybe you didn't try very hard. And I literally wanted to punch her in the face because any of you who've taken a neuropsych exam know how it's a 4 or more hour grueling test that you're faced with all of these deficits and things that you can no longer do. And my biggest complaint to her had been my short-term memory. I could not remember anything. And it's incredibly frustrating, and it's hard to live that way. So anyway, she proceeded to tell me, I think this is just in your head. I'd like to try some antidepressants and Ritalin. And I looked at her and I asked, how is that going to help my brain injury? And she's like, well, I think you're just depressed. And I was like, no, I'm really not. I mean, I had some depression, but the depression was a symptom of the brain injury and not being able to do the things that I had previously been able to do. That's the most frustrating part of brain injury, is you can so vividly remember who you were and what you used to do, and now you can't. And I think that's the most frustrating part for any survivor. But, she basically told me, I think you're just depressed. I think, it's just all in your head. You might need some therapy, which I was already seeing a fantastic therapist who was helping me. So I declined the antidepressants and the Ritalin. I just instinctively knew they weren't going to help me. Anytime we put a chemical in our body, especially one that's meant to alter our brain chemistry, and you're trying to heal your brain, I just couldn't comprehend how that was going to help me. And I also knew that depression wasn't my root cause. It was just a symptom of the bigger issue, which was the TBI. So I declined, and she pushed really hard. And I said no, and I left her office, and I never went back to her. She had wanted me to see her for counseling, and I was just like, no thanks. I'm content with the therapist I already have, who believes me and understands what I'm going through. So, it's really frustrating when professionals treat you that way. And, any professionals that might be watching this, the things you say have profound impact on that patient's recovery, because being told over and over and over again, there's nothing we can do, it's all in your head, this can't possibly be from your concussion because that was 6 months ago. The more we hear those things, the deeper and darker of a hole we go into, and it doesn't help anyone move forward in their recovery. And anyone listening who's been told these things, you're not alone. It's not just in your head. I mean, it literally is because it's your brain, but it's not in your head in the figurative sense that these professionals are telling us, or the friends and families that are saying it to us. Because, that's a whole other aspect. Friends and family tell you just to get over it. It's been 6 months. I don't understand what's going on. Why are you still feeling this way? I think you're just faking it. You're just doing this for attention. All of those things that we've heard. And those are detrimental to our recovery. And when you finally find a doctor who understands, for me, it was a functional neurologist, Dr. Jeremy Schmo. When you finally find that doctor, I believe you. I can see objectively that this is what's happening and this is why you feel this way. I mean, it just lifted this weight off my shoulders, and my recovery just, leaps and bounds. I moved forward in my recovery. So to any of you who feel a little stuck, know you're not alone. Know that there really are doctors who can help you, no matter how far out you are. I was 2.5 years before I found him, and I have met people 5, 10, 15, 20 years out who've seen profound results in their recovery. So don't give up. Know you're not alone, and it's not just all in your head. Thanks for watching, everyone.